Welcome back to Togetherness, Thankfulness, and Thanksgiving, Week 3, the object lesson. I certainly hope you're enjoying these object lessons as much as I am. It's fun to do these little science experiments and to put some meaning into them. This week, from your supply kit, you are going to need your cardboard tube. And then from home, you're going to need a glass, preferably a glass with a wide mouth to it. But even if you have a smaller mouth glass, that will work. You just need to be a little more precise with where you're placing your cardboard tube. And you're going to need a raw egg and a cutting board. A small cutting board if you have one, but any cutting board will do. What we're looking for is something flat. If you don't have a plastic cutting board, then if you have a plastic plate, maybe even a paper plate, something that doesn't have a really big edge to it. But any of those you can certainly give a try too. And you'll notice that we are back in my kitchen. So welcome back to my kitchen. We were having some sound issues at the church when I was trying to record yesterday. So I think we have all of that corrected. So hopefully you're hearing me loud and clear. And let's get started. So you're going to take your glass. I'm going to just go over to my sink here and get some water. I'm going to fill my glass up with water. And I'm going to put it back so you can see it. And then I'm going to take my cutting board. I'm going to put it so it's kind of centered over the glass. And the tube, very important, the tube needs to be right over the glass. So you might need to look from underneath and make sure that's, not quite centered. From all angles, yep, that looks good. And then your raw egg is going to go right on top horizontally. Now you may ask, what are we doing with this tower that we've made? Well, the idea of this experiment is to get the egg from the top of the tube into the glass of water. And how might you ask are we going to do that? By swiftly hitting the cutting board out of the way, and then the egg's going to fall down directly into the water. That's the idea. You may think I'm a little crazy and think I'm going to get egg all over my countertop. Well, that is certainly a possibility, but if I do it right, we should get a splash right into the cup. So let's give it a try. Okay, ready? The count of 3. The idea is also to make sure it goes horizontally and really quickly. So ready? 1, 2, 3. You see that? Voila! Pretty cool, huh? Right into the glass. Now why don't we give that another try? But this time we're going to use the glass with a smaller mouth. So I will show you. I'm just going to use the same water here. Grab my egg out of here. And let's get that one out of the way. So I'll show you that this will work if you have a smaller glass. In fact, if you're up for doing a little more experimenting, you can use all different sizes of glasses and see how small you can actually get the glass to be to work. But the smaller the glass, the more important that your tube is directly over your glass. And of course, the egg has to actually fit in the glass. So if you have a glass with a mouth where the egg wouldn't fit going horizontally, then that's probably not going to work very well. But if your parents are up for a little experimentation, you can certainly give it a try and see what happens. Okay, so here we go. Ready? The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Voila! So cool. And that time I filled my glass up a little too high and I got water all over the counter. But that's okay. That's why I'm in the kitchen right next to the sink. So now I'm going to empty this, grab my egg, and actually that time I cracked it a little bit. But that just goes to show that this is indeed a raw egg. Okay. So you might be saying, what does this have to do with the story of the Good Samaritan? And good question. Basically, the Good Samaritan is about how to be a neighbor, and that God is asking us to go on different paths that make it so that we're being good neighbors to our fellow humans. And sometimes the paths come to a crossroads where you can pick to take the easy way or to take the right way. And in the case of the story, the Levite and the priest, they decided to take the easy way. They saw the injured man there and they just walked on by. Could they have stopped and helped? Of course they could have. Maybe they had an appointment they were getting to. Maybe they were late for dinner. Who knows the reason why they decided not to stop. But they did take the easy way and just kept walking on by. The Samaritan, however, when he came across this man, a Jewish man, who the Samaritans and the Jews didn't necessarily get along very well, so it would have been really easy for him to just say, I want nothing to do with this. That guy's on his own. But he didn't. He stopped. He helped. And he took the entire rest of the day because he had to get the man up, actually help him with the bandages, clean up his wounds, get him up on his donkey, get him to the inn, and pay for all of this, including pay the innkeeper to keep him there. And so it took him a lot of time and money in order to help this man. But helping the man was the right thing to do. And he just saw an injured person that needed help. So when we're faced with a decision that helping somebody might be the right thing to do, but might be more difficult than just looking the other way, God wants us to know that the right path to take is the path where we're helping our neighbors. And our neighbors are all of God's children on this earth. So what does that have to do with the egg? Getting the egg into the glass by putting it on a tube and knocking a board out from under it is not the easy way to get the egg into the glass. I certainly could have just dropped the egg in there myself with my hand. But in order to make this more interesting, I chose the more difficult path to get the egg in, and to also do a little demonstration on gravity and inertia. And again, you'll have to Google exactly the scientific reason of why all that works, because the science part is not my thing. But it just demonstrates that sometimes taking the difficult path can be the right way to do something, and in the case of the egg, sometimes even more fun. It was certainly more fun doing that than just plopping an egg in a glass. So just think of the Good Samaritan story and the egg in the glass to next time that you're faced with a difficult decision about maybe doing something that's not very easy, but that you know is the right thing to do. So I hope you enjoyed this object lesson, and I hope you have fun experimenting with it. And my hands are all wet because they're laying in the water. So just remember to have some paper towels handy and a sink nearby, and have fun with it. And until next week, have a very happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks. Bye.